Hi, I'm Looper Isaac.
Oh, and I and I'm Cone Mouth Claire.
And this is Make
Make that
That Game.
game where we pitch the latest
The greatest
new video game ideas.
that aren't gonna, they're not real. These aren't real video game ideas. We just made them up. We're not developers. We don't do that.
No. Well, you are a developer, right? But
Yes, but don't tell the listeners. They might get
oops.
expectations.
Oh no. Oh
They
no.
might think that I should do one of these.
Oh no.
That'll ruin the whole conceit of the show.
Okay, folks, so just a heads up, I misplanned the morning here today in record podcast land. So this might be a little bit shorter. We're going to try to go a little bit quicker so that we're not late to things today.
Yeah, we'll speed through it, but
I think you'll still have a great time.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
always
just wanted to let you know if the episode is shorter, that's why. It's all my fault.
A speed run.
Ooh.
And we love those.
Yeah. All right. So since this is a speed run, we got to get going. So Isaac, what have you been playing this week?
I have played the crap out of No Man's Sky Leviathan update. I have beat No Man's Sky Leviathan update immediately upon saying in last week's episode that it's so easy, I haven't died yet. I got mauled. I got stuck in between two bushes, couldn't move at all, and like three monsters spawned right in front of me, surrounded me, so I could not move. And then they just all attacked at the same time and just made my health disappear. And then that preceded a series of deaths where wild animals would just maul me out of nowhere. Like I'd just be walking around getting dirt and whatever, and then a wild animal would maul me. But I powered through with 5 total deaths. I now have a space whale in my fleet.
Good.
And I have the official title Looper.
Nice.
Yay. Amazing. I can put that on in the game and other players can see that.
Amazing.
I also played Ayuden Chronicles Rising. I got my second character, and I can safely say that Ayuden Chronicles Rising is not the wolf game I pitched a couple episodes ago. You don't really do there are combos, but it's not really built around comboing together. And finally, I have news, which is apparently not news as I did research into this. Netflix has a game, like a game that isn't Bandersnatch. It's called Point B.
So go ahead.
Yeah?
Nope, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just going to say, looking into Point B to see how you can play Point B, it is just like if you download the Netflix app from the mobile store on like Google Play or iPhones or whatever, you can play games inside of it in addition to watch TV. What I was really hoping was that these were like games designed to be played with your remote on like Roku or like across all Netflix platforms that had some level of playability. But these are I just with big quote marks mobile games, because I don't want to imply that mobile games are lesser games. But yeah, Netflix has a new game. It's called Point B. Go play it if you've got Netflix. It's free with your subscription.
Yeah, we should definitely let's try that. We can talk about it next week.
Yeah,
because we have Netflix.
How about you?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say I didn't know about the game itself, but I knew that Netflix was developing games. I've been reading about that for a few months, so I didn't know it was like ready to go. Like, here it is.
Yeah, well, the Stranger Things 1984 game, which I think you've played, that's a Netflix game.
That's a Netflix game?
Yeah, it's one of the ones you get free with Netflix.
I also have a news because I was playing Lila Skyark. It's not really a news, but it's like a interesting factoid. I found a Turnip Boy Easter egg in Lila Skyark.
Really?
I did, yes.
Wow.
And so if you want to see what that Easter egg was, I'm not going to tell you. You will have to find it on our social media because I remembered to record it.
So make sure you send that to me so I can put it on Twitter too. Yes,
I will. So there's a really cute little Easter egg in there because they're well, it's not developed by the same people, but published. Same
Yeah.
publisher, Graffiti Games. So that was really cool. Okay, going back. So I played Lila's Sky Arc finally again, back at it again.
Woo.
So that's been fun. I've been doing some Animal Crossing as usual, and I also started a new mobile game called Monument. Thanks to a suggestion. Our listener Elena suggested we play that, so I'll be honking and bonking that in the future once I've played more of it.
But not today.
Not today because
Okay.
I played like 1.5 levels, so I'm not not prepared to do that today. But speaking of honks and bonks, Isaac, do you have any games that you'll be giving some honks, giving some bonks today?
Yeah, I'm going to be honking and bonking Nuclear Throne by Vlambeer.
Okay.
Everything that I said about Enter the Gungeon applies. No, I'm just kidding. It's the same genre. It's top-down shoot 'em up. I guess it would be called a twin stick shooter, but I play it with keyboard and mouse, so there's not the twin stick action going on. Aim with the mouse, click, shoots a gun, randomly generated levels because it's a roguelike or roguelite, depending on which end of the argument spectrum you are. Go ahead and tweet at me your disappointment in my improper use, if that's your opinion, or congratulate me on my proper use. Anyways, it's set in a toxic wasteland. You get mutated upgrades as you play through the levels, and you just blast your way to try to sit atop the nuclear throne, which maybe grants you a wish, or maybe it just makes you the king of the wasteland.
You don't know yet?
I've never gotten to the nuclear throne. I've played this thing for dang near 100 hours over my life, which we're going to have some gamers in the audience be like 100 hours in a single game, almost 100 hours. I've played 7,000 hours of Dota 2.
I know the
song.
Game
that much. Well, I guess I do game a lot, but I game across many games. 100 hours is a lot for me. Don't judge me. Anyways, honks. This is a very juicy game. And I use that term because that is the term one of the developers used to describe a certain type of game. So they have like a developer, indie game developer talk that you can find online, like how to make a juicy game. So,
oh, wow.
The game is super juicy, and what that means is the screen shakes exactly correctly. Like the visual feedback you get to things is instantly there. There's crunchy sounds, many explosions to make the screen shaking all the time, barrels to blow up, enemies splatter and blah, and it just feels really good. It feels super good. It's you are a wasteland king. Oh, I can't use that word. Like nuclear throne. You are a nuclear thronist. There are golden weapons that you can unlock as you go through the game, and that allows you to keep a gun to start with in the future. So it's kind of like a meta feature. In addition to picking characters, like if you find a golden gun, if you find a good one, you can keep it and it makes your next run a little easier. But the downside is golden guns are kind of hard to get. You have to get a specific weapon, which is a weapon drop, a random drop, and then get to a specific level and then fight through a super hard level. And then you get rewarded with a golden gun. And then, if you die while holding the golden gun, boom, you've got it in the next attempt.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. And then there are also shortcuts that you can find to skip through levels, but if you take the shortcuts, you get less opportunities for weapons and upgrades, so you are slightly weaker for it. But if you know what you're doing, that's not too big of a deal. I like to go through the pizza rats or the pizza turtle sewers, which is an actual shortcut. There are 4 turtles and a rat, and they're filled with pizza. I wonder what that's a reference to.
No idea.
And it puts you right at like the boss of the junkyard instead of having to play through the junkyard, which I hate, which goes into my bonks. Some of the enemies can feel a little bit unfair for beginners, I feel. Kind of the point of roguelikes is to be a little bit unfair, but this is stuff that, like, if I haven't played for a little bit and then I go back into playing, I kind of forget about these and then get annihilated by them. And I go, this is stupid. I hate this game. There's things like there's assassins that play dead, but when you get close to them, they run up to you and smack you with a baseball bat and instantly kill you. So,
Nice,
you're just walking around, you think, oh, I've already killed that enemy, right? And then you get close to it and it just stands up and smack. Some of the treasure chests can be mimics, just like in D&D. And so you go to open them and they attack you and kill you almost instantly. There are robo snipers in the junkyard level where they can shoot you from way off screen, like infinitely off screen. So you see the red beam aiming. So these aren't really unfair as much as sometimes they can be hard to deal with. They can like really pin you down, especially in combination with a lot of other enemies. You see the red aim beam before they shoot at you. So you can like just get to a place where their shots won't hit you, like behind a car or something. But like if there's like 6 of them, they can pin you down and it's like, okay, what do I just lob grenades off the screen? And my other and final bonk, because I could only come up with 2, that's the speedrun spirit. The best character, Rogue, is the hardest character to unlock. You have to beat the game once to unlock the best character, Rogue. And I used to play the game before they implemented that feature. I guess maybe it was in beta. I can't remember if it was in beta or if they've just changed some things since it was initially released. But the character that I always played was Rogue. I have a little statue in the living room of that character.
You do?
Yeah, the blue lady with the gun on Stamper's ashes.
Okay.
Never noticed. Okay, so
I noticed it. I just didn't know what it was.
Oh yeah, no, that's Rogue from Nuclear Throne, and yeah, I get all the way to the final level, but I've never even seen the Nuclear Throne. The enemies are just too strong, and I get so sad thinking about how I'm not playing Rogue every time I play. I have to play the next best character, Young Venus. So sad. Anyways,
So
that's
sad.
Nuclear Throne by Vlambeer. Everybody should play it. This is one of those games that I have literally bought for people. I've felt so strongly that they should play it. I think I've bought it for like 4 or 5 people. Where
Wow.
it's like I mention it, if they show any interest, I'm just like, here you go. Here you go.
You've never even talked to me about it, so you obviously don't think I'll like it.
Considering how much you hated Binding of Isaac, yeah. Anyways, hey, do you have any honks and or bonks?
I do, yes. I'm gonna honk and bonk a game. It's a mobile game that I mentioned a while ago on the podcast, but it's called Mini Metro. And it costs like, I think it's like $2 or $3. And I feel like when a game on a mobile game costs money to download, it's going to be good. I feel like not necessarily, but like
it's kind of like a gatekeep.
But so like if a mobile game doesn't cost money, if it's free to download, it's either going to be like Matchington, where you have to like wait a certain amount of time to continue to play, or purchase like whatever would get you more plays or coins or whatever, like there's in-game purchases, or it's just so laden with ads that it's unplayable.
Oh yeah.
So if you pay to download it, most likely it's going to be a game. Like once you pay once and you download it, you have it, and now it's a game for you. And so I appreciate that. So this was like not expensive, but did have a paywall, and it's awesome. It's very chill. So the conceit of the game is you have like a very minimal map of a city. So just literally not even roads. It's just like the shape and any waterways in that city. And then you have to design a metro system for the city as stations appear. So little shapes will appear on your screen, and you have to connect them with subway lines. And each level, it gets, more and more people are traveling. You get to add cars and lines and tunnels and all this good stuff as it progresses. And I love this game. So I mostly have honks, but my first honk is there's not really a learning curve. So you can open this game and play it immediately. And it's just so easy to do, not easy to win, so like, that's good. Like, it's not so easy that I'm bored, but I'm easy to know what you're doing, if that makes sense. Like,
okay.
You open it and it's just very intuitive. Like you draw lines with your finger, like you tap to do this thing. You can pause time, you can fast forward time. Like it's really adaptive to you and like how you want to play. They also have a free play version too that's not timed. But I've never done that because I like a challenge. But I like that they have that option. I also love the topic. Can't, I love trains. And what's cool about it is it's not all subways like only. So if the city, so they're all based on real cities. It's all real cities. If the city they're using actually has like elevated trains, buses, if they have like bullet trains, if they have there's like cable cars, like all these things, and you have access to that as well. So there's different, and they'll like carry different amounts of people or like go at different speeds. So that's like a whole nother level of gameplay that I think is really cool. And yeah, the final honk, which I kind of already said, was they use real city maps. So I think it's just cool that the topography of the game is based on real cities. You can like unlock different cities as you if you get certain scores in certain levels. So it's like, oh, get like score 300 in Beijing and you can unlock like Amsterdam or whatever. So that's pretty sweet. The only bonks I have a couple bonks. The first bonk is just a would be cool thing. It's just a wouldn't that be neat if you added that. I would love
I like this genre of bonk. I haven't even thought of that.
It's like, wouldn't that be nice? Because since they're based on real cities, I would love to see the actual subways or like transit lines that exist in that city at some point, like to have an option of like after you design yours to like overlay like here's what the real one looks like. Would just be kind of neat to see like how close was I, or like is their metro line like completely like difficult to understand, it'd just be really interesting. Because the only one I know I'm like innately familiar with is New York City. And I did play the New York City one, and I actually had trouble because I was like, I'm going to try to set it up kind of like I know it does. And that was really hard, like not just in memory, but just because like the way the game is, I was like, I don't think this is working.
Oh no.
Which is funny. So I just thought that'd be interesting. And then also the other bonk is that, so one thing that's a honk, I think, is you can erase lines at any time. So like you can pause the game and basically redraw all your lines if you're getting like confused and you think you need to change it up. It's not always a good idea to do that, but I like that you have the option. The only thing is that there's these things called transit hubs. So basically you can build bigger stations at locations in your transit system that are like more visited. And but once you build a hub, you cannot move that hub. So if I want to redraw a line, I have to take that hub into consideration, because if I end up putting it somewhere where now it's not a like major connector, then it's completely wasted.
So you get to place it wherever you want.
Yeah.
But then
it's there
permanent?
forever.
Oh.
Yeah. So you place it wherever you want, and you usually only get it when you're like pretty far into the game, because it's like now you have such a high volume of travelers. But once you place it, yeah, if you want to redraw any lines, which you can't move that. So you'd have to like take that into consideration as you draw it, which kind of sucks.
Wow.
But that's it. So really great game. Would check it out if you love metros and you also want a chill way to just vibe on your phone. That's it. This is the one.
All right, boom. There are honks and bonks.
We did it. Hey, so
I have a pitch for you. If you want to hear it. Did you want to say something else?
Well, I was just going to ask you if you had a pitch for me. So it's like you read my mind. It's like you knew it was coming next. I don't know how, but it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's like I had a piece of paper that explained the process.
So weird, so wild.
Wow. Anyway, so I have a game. It is called Cosmogos. I don't know why I said it like that. Did it send a chill down your spine?
A little, yeah.
Oh, well, that's how you know it's a good name. It is a game where you are a god of meteors.
Ooh.
The only way you have to interact with your subjects and/or the world at all are via meteors. You cannot send a little angel down to talk to people. No, you can only write on a meteor and smash it into the earth. But then it gets smashed, and how are people going to read your message?
I don't know.
How are you going to convey your love for your devoted worshippers with meteors? These are the questions the game asks, and do they answer it? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, you smash meteors into the planet to please your subjects, to destroy heretics, and to expand your influence.
Wow, that sounded like an actual pitch, like you had that ready to go.
That's what we do on this show. One day I'm going to make a pitch, and I'm going to be so well practiced, they are just going to it's going to win them over right then and there.
Wow.
Just because of the confidence. But yeah,
Wow.
depending on your influence level. So you start off with a very small sphere of influence. You have very little worshippers, so you can't influence the world very well. So your first level of meteors is like pulling pine cones out of trees and birds out of the sky. Those are your first meteors. So you
What?
can like, I'm
What does that mean? What does pulling pine cones out of trees mean?
so you are a god of meteors. You
Yeah.
cause
No, I got that.
meteors to
Yeah, I
crash
got
into
that.
the
I got
earth.
that. Yes.
Only when you're a very weak baby god, you don't have the power to grab celestial objects from space and
Okay.
smash it into the earth. You have to start small. So what's the highest up celestial objects that you can grab? Pine cones.
That
You
is
can make
not a
pine cones smash to the earth.
So you live on Earth?
Well, I'm using earth and like you live on a planet, but
So the god lives on the planet?
well, you're a god. You're like a spirit that flies. You are all encompassing, but like you have to you can only maintain focus where you have influence, right?
That's-
Where your worshippers are spreading your influence.
So a meteor has to be in outer space,
Well,
according to the dictionary.
wow. All right. All right.
But
Well then.
I would give you like a bird because it's like floating, but like a pine cone? I don't know, man. It's a
Ah,
stretch.
jeez. All right. Well, fine. Remove the pine. Forget I said anything about pine cones. You pull birds out of the sky, smash them into the ground. The people see that and they go, "Oh, maybe the god of meteors is real." So you expand your influence, and they go, "Oh, he gave us a wonderful Christmas goose. This is a good god." They continue to worship you, and then you know you can pull up. You get into orbit where there's space rocks and stuff floating around, and then you can pull those down and smash them in to the earth, and they make bigger explosions. You can destroy buildings, you can level forests, you can make lakes or rivers if you smash enough meteors down. As you do more impressive things, people are more impressed with you. You encounter other deities and slash or non-faithful people, and thus you have to either convert, or your people have to convert them or destroy them with your help, etc., etc., etc. The game continues until you become such a powerful god that you can smash the moon or sun into the planet and destroy it all and start anew.
Wow. All right. Well, I like that ending.
That's my
I think
game.
it's a cool game. Sorry that I got hung up on the definition of meteor, but I love astronomy. Okay.
Okay.
I love astronomy. You could talk. Tierney is actually, she studies astrophysics. So if you need like more details, you can
Oh
talk to
yeah, I'll
her
get right on
more.
developing this game,
Yeah.
which is exactly what we do here on this podcast.
But yeah, cool. Would you like to hear a game pitch from me?
I think that I would. Yeah.
Amazing.
Just use a slightly loose definition of something so I can like jump on.
Well, yeah, so you can, because I want to base it off a game that I can't remember and only have recently played in virtual reality. So it's
Okay.
not Space Invaders, but it's similar. It's like
Okay.
things come down at, and you have to move your spaceship to avoid them, but then you also kill enemies. It's like an
Okay.
arcade game. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Galaga.
Let me look it up real quick.
The space bugs come down in a pattern and then they fly towards you.
Yes, that looks
Okay.
pretty correct.
Okay.
Something like that.
Are
but
you
not
pitching Galaga to me?
No, I'm pitching a
Oh.
game. It's called Dream Destroyer.
Okay.
And so that's the gameplay. The gameplay, it's like an arcade game. I'm into that, I guess, developing those. I did a couple. But yeah, so you come in, you're the Sandman instead of a spaceship.
Okay.
And what's coming down is, so each level is you're in somebody's dream and you have to protect them from bad dreams. But so how to do that is what's coming down are symbols that you can see in dreams. So like
Teeth.
Yeah.
Clowns.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also good things like a beach or like flowers or all these different meanings. Because I really also like dream meanings. That's a thing that I got into. once upon a time. So you have to interpret like which dream symbols to kill and which to keep so that they have a nice dream.
Okay.
And so you shoot the ones that you're getting rid of, and you have to avoid the other ones that you want to keep.
So you don't indiscriminately shoot everything you see.
Correct.
You have to pay attention to what you're looking at.
Shoot everything you see.
Very discriminately.
As they like leave the like screen, that means they've like entered the real dream, and you'll see like a bar, like a status bar of like how good or bad the dream is. So you can kind of start to like figure out like what's going on. But yeah, that's the game. It's again simple because it's an arcade style game. So you just play until 3 lives and then you die. So if you would lose a level if you have a totally bad dream.
So now would there be power-ups?
I can't I mean, you would want them. I honestly don't know what the power-ups would be.
Well, like you could get something like double shot.
Okay.
Or like you shoot faster.
See, I worry about that. That would actually make it
shot.
I feel like any like upgrade in gun would make it more difficult because like if you're shooting double, what if you hit something behind it that you wanted to keep?
So that you're right. So another the upgrade I was just about to say is temporarily only destroys bad.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Or like slow time or something so you can better see like what's going on. Yeah. So things like that would be fun. I think we should have those. I did not write it down unlike Isaac, and I did come up with this while I was getting ready this morning. So in my head, I have nothing written down. This is all in the noggin, in the brain.
Perfect. That's how we love to do it. But do you know what else we love to do?
What do we love to do?
Come up with game ideas based on randomly generated words.
Oh, we do love
and then
that.
Have a time limit of how long we can take talking about these games, but we do have to come up with a title and a featured mechanic, and we do it 3 times in a row. And usually we have 5 minutes, but since we're speedrunning today, do you want to do hard mode and do 3 minutes?
I think we should.
Okay, well, let me know when you've got some randomly generated words for us to speak on.
Here they are. They're coming.
All right.
Privilege.
Okay.
Sigh.
Okay.
And clue. Clue's a good one. I like that.
Privilege, sigh, and clue. You are a detective investigating a murder at the manor of a bored, wealthy family.
I mean, this just sounds like a Nancy Drew game.
Yes. Yeah. So like I imagine it as Knives Out.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The movie, which is exactly like it is a wealthy family. There is a murder and there is an investigator. I imagine it to be exactly that, but as a video game. All of the family members are quirky and also mostly uninterested. The only person who cares at all, is the maid in that movie, or she wasn't a maid. I forget what she was, but I'm just describing Knives Out.
Yeah,
now,
spoiler alert, I guess.
Where's the game? What's the mechanic?
I mean, to be honest, I kind of want it to be like that that game we saw on YouTube for Vampire Diaries. Where you like go and like ask people questions and the graphics are bad.
I don't remember what you're talking about. I brain hold that brain. Oh, no. I mean, so it could be just that like a classic point and click adventure.
Well, and that's also like the Nancy Drew games. So this feels very
okay. Much. So that makes a lot of sense. What do we call it?
We call it Can't Be Rich When You're Dead.
All right, boom. 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Can't Be Rich When You're Dead, the point and click adventure game wherein you solve a mystery for uninterested rich people.
Wow. All right, ready for our next 3 words?
Yes.
Okay. Dawn.
Of the Dead.
Main.
Main is an MAIN?
Yes.
Okay.
And trait.
Trait.
Dawn, main, trait.
TRAIT.
Yeah. like
Okay.
a trait.
Dawn
So
main trait.
I think it should be something where like you have to do something before dawn,
Okay.
like a timed.
So main trait makes me think of genetics. So I think we've got another gene game. We've got another gene smashing game.
Learn them up.
Not no, I don't think this one's a learn 'em up.
Okay.
Should it be a learn 'em up?
I don't know. We already made a gene game, so I'm not really sure. Like,
we've made several gene games.
Yeah, so I guess I'm kind of like I'm out for that category.
Well, what else could it be?
Okay, you're a vampire and you're in manners school. And you're trying to change your personality after years of being a mean old vampire. And you have to answer lots of quizzes, personality quizzes, to rate how your personality is based on challenges that like saving animals or like not eating people. And it takes place at night school because you're a vampire.
Okay, what's the name? We've got 10 seconds.
It's Night Manners.
Okay, with 2 seconds left, Night Manners.
Okay, last 3 words. Ready? Oh, this is good. This is really good. Real.
Okay.
Draw.
Wait, R-E-E-L?
No.
R-E-A-L.
Yeah.
Okay.
Draw.
Okay.
Eyebrow.
Okay.
I feel like you gotta draw eyebrows. I feel like that's it. I feel like this writes itself.
Okay, so a bunch of eyebrowless customers come in and you've got to draw eyebrows.
And they gotta look real, I guess.
And they gotta look real.
And
Okay.
I think it should be like on like a Switch or something where you have a touch screen so you can like actually draw.
I think it would be funnier if you didn't have a touch screen. I'm thinking about how when you were playing Coffee Talk, like trying to draw, like how weird the controls were for that.
To try to do the latte art, yeah.
And I think that it would be the best.
That's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like the algorithm in charge of determining whether you have drawn eyebrows takes into place location, symmetry, and you definitely lose points if you put a monobrow in.
Yeah. Oh, this is good because also like you might be able to get really good points on one that looks bad, but algorithmically is fine.
Yes. See, and people find the perfect, they figure out what the algorithm likes and they make the perfect eyebrow, and it actually is just terrible. It's like, well, oh yeah, like the longer or whatever it is, probably the algorithm would consider that better. And so if you can make perfectly symmetrical eyebrows that are just like one enormous swirl that takes up like the exact size of like the eyebrow area of the forehead, and then the algorithm's like, yay, and you're like, ha.
It looks bad. No, I think this is good. Controls are hard. They'll all look bad. It's good. This is a good game. It's a very good game. It is called
Raising Eyebrows.
Yep, that's what it's called.
Exactly 1 minute left.
Amazing. We nailed it.
Nailed it.
Well, so if you want to find us on social media, you can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and soon to be on TikTok at Make That Game Pod. And if you want to send us an email, you can write us an email at Make That Game. Well, no, not at. Email.
No, you email us at the address Make That Game Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes, thank you for helping me out there. And if you heard a game today that you think should exist in the world, we encourage you to go out there and make
that game.